Hello and welcome. You're watching Gravitas Plus. I am Gambhir. I have some questions for you. When did you wake up today? When did you go to sleep last night? What was the last meal that you had? When was the last time you worked out? And if not that, at least went for a walk outside? Now, are you happy with your answers? You might not want to face them, but they do tell you a lot about your lifestyle. You see, our daily habits define our health. How much we sleep, what we eat, how much we move and exercise, everything matters. But Gen Z has a lifestyle problem. You see, youngsters are hooked to their screens. They consume carbs and fried food like anything most of the time. Their diet might not be including healthy greens. Work takes up most of their time. Working from home essentially eliminates any scope of going out and stepping out in the sun. Exercising takes a backseat. And what do we even say about the sleep cycle? Most stay up late and then they stay in their beds till midday. And what happens next? Health issues that stay with them for a long time. And in worst cases, even for a lifetime. I am talking about diabetes, heart attack risks, vitamin D deficiency, crippling mental health disorders. Gone are the days when heart diseases only plagued the older population. Heart attacks in youngsters have become increasingly common. As you know, your heart is constantly pumping blood, but sometimes the vessels carrying this blood get blocked, and the blockages narrow down the artery. Blood flow to the heart is reduced, and this leads to a heart attack. In many cases, heart attacks can be fatal. Now the question is, why does this happen? What leads to these blockages in the arteries? The answer lies in your lifestyle. Eating food loaded with trans fat, added sugars, extra salt can lead to high cholesterol levels. Such food items have been proven to accelerate the collection of bad cholesterol in the blood vessels. On top of that, other factors like excessive alcohol consumption, regular smoking, obesity, diabetes, hypertension can lead to a heart attack. In fact, more and more youngsters are suffering from hypertension, partly due to excessive work stress and partly due to poor diet and lack of physical activity. High blood pressure thickens the heart muscles. It makes them work harder, harms the arteries, and increases the risk of a heart attack. Another menace is obesity. Even if you feel overall healthy, if you are overweight, then you are at high risk of cardiovascular diseases. Now, it is a proven fact that exercising daily can boost one's heart health, but these days, even gym goers are suffering from heart attacks. And why is that? Because a lot of people overexert themselves in gyms and they ignore their health history. So what is the way out? What are the solutions? And can you safeguard yourself against a heart attack? While it also depends on your genes and your family history, you can still reduce heart attack risks. Here's what you can do. Maintain a healthy diet. Avoid fatty and fried food. Instead, switch to a fiber-rich diet with seasonal vegetables and fruits. Exercise daily, but don't overexert. If your trainer pushes you beyond your limit, you can always say no. Take your health conditions and your family history into account. If you have a family history of heart diseases, then maybe it's time for you to get a screening test done. And stress is another major contributor to heart diseases. High cortisol levels have been linked to heart attacks. So find healthy ways to regulate stress and take a break before reaching the point of mental breakdown or burnout. Lastly, moderate your alcohol intake and smoking. This was all about heart attacks, but that's not the only risk to youngsters in their 20s and 30s. Another one is diabetes. That happens either when there isn't enough production of insulin or the body stops taking up the produced insulin. And what happens when you have diabetes? The sugar level in our body shoots up. This in turn damages the organs, nerves, and the blood vessels. And who is at risk? Someone who is overweight, has a history of blood pressure issues, a history of PCOS or polycystic ovary syndrome, someone who has a sedentary lifestyle or poor dietary choices or does not engage in physical activity. Because the moment there are fatty tissues around your muscles, they stop responding to insulin, sending your blood sugar levels through the roof. Youngsters and even little children are developing diabetes these days. And what are some symptoms you can look out for? Let me break them down for you. Feeling thirsty more frequently, urinating frequently, feeling extremely hungry too often, unexplained weight loss, feeling a sense of fatigue, having blurred vision, sores that refuse to heal or heal slowly. Another symptom is frequent infection. If you experience these symptoms, then do get tested for diabetes. And how can diabetes be prevented? Eat more nutritious food. Include whole grains in your diet. Eat fresh fruits, green vegetables, nuts. Avoid processed food, sodas, fried foods, high-calorie desserts. Don't drink too much alcohol. Try to exercise for 30 minutes, 5 times a week, and you should be fine. There are other deficiencies and disorders common in Gen Z and millennials that can go undetected. And a prominent example is vitamin D deficiency. A research by health test provider York Test has highlighted how youngsters are becoming vitamin D deficient. 42% of Britons in their 20s now have a vitamin D deficiency, compared to just 21% of those in their 60s and 12% of those aged 70 and above. Now, who is to blame? Youngsters either work in closed offices or work from their homes. During the weekend, they could have a cozy day in instead of stepping out. Often, they can go days without getting some vitamin D, which leads to a sharp increase in cases of vitamin D deficiency. Adults and children over the age of 1 need 10 micrograms of the vitamin every day, while babies need 8.5 to 10 micrograms. So how can you boost your vitamin D levels? Have more milk, be it almond, soy, or oat. Include vitamin D staples like cod liver oil, salmon, mushrooms, eggs, beef liver, tinned tuna, and cheese in your diet, and go out in the sun more often. You see, your lifestyle choices, your fitness levels, your sleeping schedule have a big role to play. They go a long way in determining how healthy you are. So choose wisely, stay happy and healthy.